control! Cruise control!
I just been counting, never lounging, climbing up mountains, bouncing back, step in the ring, about to step back. They'll learn hot when I get on the track. I like it louder the most. Watching all these shooters put down to the go. If I can't decide, I'ma probably get both. We can celebrate, but right now I'm a toast. Resurrect the ghost.
Hey guys, this is my 2020 S1000 RR reveal.
What's the plan?
Go eat. Alright, so we left San Jose a little while ago. We had a super good night last night. I was super shocked at how many people showed up. We had like 50 to 60 riders. I was not expecting that. I was expecting, you know, I've done bike nights before like that, or rides, I guess I should say. And there was good turnouts, but I'm always worried whenever I do the next one, right? I didn't want Willie and the guys at BMW San Jose to be bummed if, you know, only a handful of guys showed up. But like I said, we had 50 to 60 bikes come out. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for coming out. It was short notice, and to get that many guys coming out on so many different brands of bikes, it wasn't just customers that Willie's used to seeing, it was a whole new crowd. So it was cool to just see everybody come out and support, have a good time, especially, you know, with everything going on right now. It's nice just seeing everybody get out and enjoy something together. Everybody had a great time. Everybody rode safe. We had a lot of fun. Got to hang out afterwards with everybody from the shop, go have a couple beers, hang out at Willie's house, and really just talk about motorcycles and just, you know, just a really good time. So thanks to those guys for having me out. Thanks to everybody for showing up. And we'll definitely be planning some more of those in the future. Now, we're driving down south. We got like a 5.5, 6 hour drive back down to LA. We're gonna stop where we did the Momentum video. If you haven't seen that, it's where I was drifting the R1 around the corner. So we're gonna stop. It's Angeles Crest Highway. Stop there, do some riding. The bike still has the rev limiter on it just because it's in the break-in period. So a little bit of a bummer. I can't get the thing to rev past like 8,000 RPM until I get like, I think 400 or 500 miles on the bike. But I just want to go there and ride by myself and kind of focus on the bike. I didn't get to do that last night because we were in such a crowded group. So I want to see what I do and don't like about the bike. With the rev limiter on there, it's going to be a little hard still. But I just want to feel the chassis and feel how everything is. I'm looking forward to going and riding down here. It'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Alright, so this will be my first ride on this bike alone when I wasn't like waiting for Nick the whole time. On our ride yesterday, we had to sit around and wait for about 30 minutes. Hey, you finally made it! 20 minutes later! What's up, guys? So we just finished up the first kind of solo ride on the S1000 RR, double R. I don't know, some people get double R, I call it RR. But yeah, my first thoughts are the bike is super fun to ride. There's so many features electronically on this thing that you could just get lost in everything. You know, I could sit here and go over stuff, which I don't know half the stuff, but I could go over it with you already on the stuff I know for 30 minutes. So I'll give you kind of like the short review right now, but I think by sitting here thinking about it, I can't give like a full honest opinion of the bike yet, because it's kind of a bummer that I'm not to the 600 mile break-in, through the 600 mile break-in period yet, so I can't even rev the bike past 8,000 RPM, which for those of you that ride motorcycles hard know that anybody that's like a quick rider doesn't sit below 8,000 RPM, so it's been kind of difficult for me to ride this bike. And then also without having the flash, with all the restrictions that they have because of emissions and all that stuff, I guess, or whatever rules they had to, whatever the reasons were they had to lower the power of the bike, it's been kind of a bummer to ride. You know, straight off the bat, I know that I had told you guys I was going to be totally honest with you about all the reviews I do from now on, and especially since I don't have a contract with BMW, I don't have any obligations to be nice about it, but I also don't want to be, you know, messed up about the review also. I just want to be honest, but in a nice way. The thing isn't fun to ride when you first get it. I think in order to make it a fair review, we need to do the flash on it, get past the 800 mile break-in period, and then give you a bigger review, maybe motovlog style, where I can talk while I'm riding it and show the difference in that flash. Yeah, it sucks that somebody goes and buys a bike and then you have to put $500 to $1,000 into it to get it to its full potential. But from what I've heard from Josef at Attack, you do the flash on this thing and you're basically a flash and an exhaust, you're putting out 195 horsepower. So for just a full system and the flash, I mean, you're right at almost 200 horsepower. So that's basically, you know, what a super bike is, a race bike, right? So the cool stuff that I like about the bike is, you know, first of all, I like how the seat is very narrow. I like the shape of the tank. I like the reach to the handlebars. I like pretty much everything ergonomically about the bike. It looks badass. My favorite things about the bike are all the electronic stuff, which is weird for me because I've never been into that stuff. I always think it's stupid, like, that these bikes are kind of changing into these like cars basically almost. It's like, you think about it, it's got traction control, wheelie control, all this, whatever their dynamic stuff is, so it changes while you're riding the bike. It's got electronic suspension now. Like a couple years ago, you'd ask me, I'd think it was stupid, but I think it's actually really cool the more and more I ride them. So I'll just kind of go through a couple of the things that I like in the electronics just to show you, because I don't want it to be such a downer review. I'm not, you know, the whole bike I like, it's just the motor right now. So we'll go over that stuff and show you the stuff that I like. So wait for this car to go by. So first of all, when you turn the bike on, you see this awesome dash. I mean, this thing is like a tablet, and it doesn't like distract you or take away from anything, but it's just awesome. Like, that's the first thing that caught my eye when I saw this bike, besides this color, because I requested to get this color. But the dash is awesome. And then it's got, so most bikes, you normally just have these buttons that you go through everything in the dash. So like if you want to change something on the bike, you got to use buttons. And, you know, maybe it's just me, but a lot of times I feel like it's very difficult when there's these buttons and you're trying to do it with your gloves. So one thing that's sick, and I noticed this right away, I was like, what the hell is this ugly ass donut right here on the handlebar? But this has been the sickest feature of the bike, because you can go through everything in the settings with just using this menu up and down button, and then this wheel or donut, whatever you want to call it, goes, so you can click right, left, and then you can scroll with it. So we're going to go down on the menu button. We'll be in the settings right here, so we can click down again. And then right now I have it in racetrack mode, so I can basically click on or off. So right now it would be off. Click it again, it's on. So that's basically telling me that all of the cell phone stuff, so like you can also attach or connect your phone to it. So I have, like, there's an app on my phone now, and I can put in the GPS on there. So I'm not having to, in my phone, like all my phone calls, directions, music, all is on the dash. So I'm not having to put my phone, you know, mount it somewhere on the bike, which is such a pain in the ass if you think about it. And I'm always worried my phone's gonna go flying off. So basically that's just telling you when it's in race mode that stuff isn't working. So we're going to click OK. But the coolest thing is I can go over to configuration, and I can go, so there's 3 different settings that I can, or 3 different modes I can use with all my different settings in there. So we'll go to Race Pro 1 setting right now. I can adjust like the torque or the throttle response of the bike, the engine braking, and I don't know all this stuff, but I'm going with basically what I know. Engine brake, which I like to adjust to have a lot of, and I want the motor to slow me down going into the corners. So that's awesome to me that I can adjust that on the fly without having like a computer and stuff. Traction control, wheelie control, ABS settings, which I can't stand. The rear, so right now as a stock bike, you can turn the ABS, the front will be at a minimum and the rear will be turned off. So in race mode, the rear one turns off, the front is still there, but normally you feel ABS pulsing the lever. I haven't felt that yet in this low setting, so it's been actually pretty good. And then somewhere in here, oh, here we go. So this is the suspension settings. I can do the front dampening, the rear compression, and the rear rebound, and I have up to, let's see, it goes from 14 clicks. So I mean, this thing's pretty nuts, like the adjustability that you can have. So like the cool thing to me, which I haven't got to play with yet, but I can basically have 3 different settings. So I can have like all my traction control, engine brake, all that stuff be the same in all 3 modes. But then my suspension settings, I could be at a track day or I could be out on the street. And of course, if you're out on the street, you're not going to have all your tools, right? You can't just pull off the street, get your tool bag out, do all this shit. So I can now adjust my suspension electronically. So I have those 3 settings in there. So I'm like, okay, the bike feels a little soft. So in race pro mode 2, I could have a stiffer suspension, right? All around. And then in race mode 3, I have even stiffer suspension. So I'm saving so much time and like not having to have the tools. I can go to a track day, ride with somebody, or say I'm coaching someone on the same bike. Like, oh, my bike feels soft. Like, okay, try this mode. Just do that like within 5 seconds. So that's really awesome. One of my favorite things, which is so stupid, actually 2 of my favorite things. One is this, what do you call it?
Cruise control?
Yeah, cruise control. So I didn't know that was a thing on motorcycles. I know that they have like those clips that you could put on. Like people put the clips so like you turn the throttle and then it kind of holds it there, which is super sketchy to me because I don't know, what if it gets stuck or something? It just scares me. Obviously, you just pull the clutch in if anything like that happens. But so I was riding, Corey called when we were on the group ride yesterday. He's like pointing at this. I'm like, what the hell is he pointing at? I'm like looking at my hazards on, my blinker on. Like, what the fuck's this guy talking about? And I finally see this like cruise control logo, like what's in the cars, right? So I don't have it in my van, so I haven't seen it in a while. But I noticed, oh, okay. So it has this like lock right here. So I can unlock it, basically unlock this button or lock it. So like if I'm riding, I don't want to bump it, right? I can lock it. So we unlock it. You push this button at whatever speed you want to go. I don't know what the max is. I've only got up to like 80 with it so far. But you can set a cruise control on a motorcycle, which to me is like the most badass thing ever. So yesterday, I know this is dangerous, and I don't want you guys trying this at home. So I know we're going to get some haters when I say this, but we were on the group ride just at the end of the day. So the guys at the shop, right? None of the fans were there. But so I'm like, I find out that I can do this cruise control setting. So I set it at like 45 miles an hour. And I just started to feel like so free. Like somebody said that in the text. Like I sent them the video. Like, oh, you just look so free. Like, wow, that's what it was. I set the cruise control and I stood up on the bike and just like had my arms out and I'm just like coasting up a hill at 45 miles an hour. And then like there's cars driving down the road, right? So I see them and I'm coming up on them. I'm like, damn, I don't want to get off the cruise control because I'm having fun. So I literally like just go around these cars standing up, just riding this thing, right? It's just the coolest thing to me. Something else that's really sick, which a lot of people are going to say, oh, I would never use that. Actually, there's a couple, even the heated grips. Like there's heated grips on a sport bike. I was telling them a story yesterday while we were at dinner. I was racing the Daytona 200. It was 2010, the year I won. It's the only Daytona 200 win that I have. And I was racing an R6, and I was actually racing with Steve Rapp for the lead. And I was behind him on the banking. It was like one of the only years they ever ran the race at night. So it was like in the low 50s during our race. And I was drafting behind Steve Rapp, and I knew that I could go by him and pull away, but my hands were going numb because I was so cold. It's so cold. So imagine it's 50 degrees, and then you're going 180 miles an hour on the banking, and like our gloves aren't that thick. So it was just freezing. My hands were just numb. And the only way I could heat them up was by getting behind Steve Rapp because he had the Ducati 748, I think. It was a dual exhaust Ducati. it was putting off so much heat off the exhaust that I could literally heat my hands up, and they would like give me enough heat in my hands to make it around like 3/4 of the lap, and then by the time we got on the banking again, I had to get back behind them and heat my hands up. So I know you probably don't race with the heated grips, but like yesterday we rode from Santa Cruz to San Jose back to the BMW dealership on the 17, and any of you that have rode that before, you know, like the elevation change, it gets freezing up at the top of the hill, and then you get back down and it's cold, so or warm. So I had the heated grips on, and my hands were like totally fine. The rest of my body was freezing, but at least your hands, like that's the most important thing, right? When you're riding is what you can feel, the controls. That's why like on this bike, I'm not a big fan of these grips because they're kind of fat, because I like having good feel to the bike. So yeah, the grips are gonna go, these levers are gonna go, because I don't like the feel of them. They're a little bit like thick here and they're long. I just don't like the way they feel. So having your hands comfortable is the most important thing. So heated grips for long rides is like badass in my opinion. But one of my favorite features on the bike, so you have to have it running, I think. Yeah, it doesn't work when it's not running. So we're gonna turn the bike on. Back out of the settings. I think I can just hold that. There we go. Okay, so say you like come up to a light, or you want to pull over and you got to get something out of your wallet, or you're just tired, right? You're at the end of a long ride. You're on a hill. You don't want to sit here over the hot bike, which maybe you're just not a guy that's comfortable with putting your left foot down. You want to put your right foot down, but you got to hold the rear brake, right? So all you do is just grab the brake lever, give it a good squeeze, and the bike is literally stuck now. The rear brake is engaged, so the bike's not going to roll backwards. So I'm not on that steep hill right now, but just imagine you're on a steep hill in traffic or something and you got to stop. This thing, all it is hard squeeze the brake lever, it's on or off. So there you go, hard squeeze, back on. And to me, that was super cool, because we were at a stoplight or something, and I just engaged. I'm like, I don't need to think about like holding the rear brake or the front brake or anything like that. I can just, pull that in, it engages, and I can just relax and not have to worry about balancing with one foot up, because sometimes, let's be honest, it just gets kind of annoying sometimes. I always have to be balancing. So that's one of my favorite things. There's many others. I don't know everything about these electronics, but like I said, I'm a fan of the bike. It's just that I can't give a fair assessment of how the bike is with the Flash, because I don't have it yet, and because of the restrictions on the motor. So chassis-wise, electronic-wise, BMW's killed it. And like I said, I don't have to say these things. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. I am a fan. Of course, there's things I'm going to change. I want to do bars. I want to do different grips. I want to do clutch and brake lever, a brake lever with an adjuster right here so that I can control it if it's starting to fade. On the race bikes, we have an adjuster here, so you're not having to reach over and adjust the brake lever up here, which you can do it while you're riding, but nobody wants to do that. So we have an adjuster over here. Different rear sets, of course, a different exhaust, of course. There's stuff like that I want to change, but I think every bike needs it. It's not your bike until you put the things that you like on there. So overall rating of the bike so far is everything works great, and they like I said, they killed it on electronics and all these cool features. But it is a little bit of a bummer. Actually, it's a real bummer the way that the motor is working right now. So whenever I get this thing flashed, I'll let you know what I do if I decide to just, dude, this guy just fucking went over the yellow lines. The guy's like totally blew that corner right now. So whenever we get it, when I decide what tuner kit I'm going to use, or if I take it to a guy to dyno it and tune it, whatever I do, we'll do a video on it. I'll let you guys know. Any parts I start adding to this thing, I'll let you know. So make sure you guys, I hate saying it, but go subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on so you know when we post about it. It's going to be a fun build. And yeah, whenever we start doing stuff, we're going to let you know. And if Nick can't come to videos, I'm going to do moto vlogs. So my goal right now is, if we're not on a race week, to be uploading at least once a week and just having fun with you guys. I think I've noticed a lot that going to these bike nights, which was a blast last night. So thanks again to everybody for coming out. Thanks to BMW San Jose for having us out. Thanks to Nick for filming. Sorry we didn't get a ton of footage, but Nick was, got to ride a bike there from the dealership, which was awesome. And we wanted to make sure he took advantage of the opportunity. But I've noticed by meeting people that watch the YouTube stuff that it's really a way to connect with me. Instagram and Facebook and Twitter is good. We can have conversations, but this is a really cool way for people to feel like they're hanging out with me in a way. And it's cool because then when I go to the track, we're able to have these conversations about things that we both enjoy, and experience that we've had together. So yeah, it's been kind of hard for me to open up on camera. Like, I know it looks like I'm having fun, but I'm also nervous. So I'm trying to just be more like me and be super honest also about everything. And whenever I review a product for the bike, or I get a new product for the bike, I'm going to be honest about it, even if it's somebody that's giving it to me for free. I want to be honest about it. There's always pluses and minuses to everything. So yeah, hopefully you guys appreciate that and you have fun watching these videos. And whenever we get this thing flashed, I think it's going to be a beast, because like I said, Josef from Attack said this thing with an exhaust and a tune was putting out like 195 horsepower. And I think they have a new torque map coming out as well from BMW to kind of open up the bottom end a little bit more. So I'm pumped to have the bike. Thanks to BMW San Jose for providing it to me. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to having a lot of fun on it. So stay tuned.
Yeah, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come.